What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope you're doing well today, and welcome to my first MX Simulator video in a very hot minute. So, I have not been playing Sim religiously at all or anything like that, not just on and off every now and then, but I did play round 1 Parlour of this 2025 season the other day, and it is now Wednesday at the time of me recording this, and the MX Simulator round 2 at Hangtown is going to be raced today. Now, I'm not going to be racing it myself. I just thought it would be nice to hop on the game and give the track a go, because I really enjoyed Parlour, and it seems like the rest of the sim community did as well. So I want to see if Hangtown basically lives up to that. Now, Hangtown is a track in sim that I have struggled with notoriously quite a lot, where it's had some tricky off-cambers and such. The layout on this year's one, though, however, is different. You haven't got that horrible, awkward off-camber in the middle of the track here that loops round. So I'm hoping it should be a bit easier for a newbie like myself. So I'm going to try and spin some laps, hopefully not crash too many times and have too many legs off, because, you know, waiting 8 to 10 seconds at a time to get back on the bike can be a bit painful for me sometimes. But I'm going to try and learn this track, show it off to the best of my ability, and I hope you enjoy some sim gameplay for once, rather than always MX bikes. I feel like we might have to address the elephant in the room a little bit, and the man over my shoulder right now. I looked on the forums when I was going to download Hangtown. I saw that someone had posted a LeBron James rider model swap. So of course I've gone and downloaded it, and it actually looks really sick. There's, I mean, he says in there it's like the hands don't fully wrap around the grips, for example, but you're not going to have a better version of this than what you've got in game. And I just thought it was quite cool, and it gives me an excuse to run this this older Chase Sexton HRC Honda from the 2023 season. So that is exactly what we're going to do with King James and Chase sharing the same number. I mean, is there any, other than the obvious other number 23 in basketball, in any other sports, is there like another top level player slash athlete slash competitor that rocks a number 23 in anything? I mean, oh god, get over that, please. I don't watch too much outside of motocross, and I wish I watched basketball. However, NBA stuff, at least to my knowledge, isn't very easily accessible in the UK. I would love to. I think NBA is so hype. I love seeing how excited just the players on the sidelines get for the players that are playing, like just draining threes and stuff. Everyone's standing up before it goes in and getting hyped. I love that shit so much. But I have not watched a basketball game in its entirety since, and this is gonna date me a hell of a lot, give me fully unk status, since Yao Ming was on the Chicago Bulls. That is how long since I've been involved in any basketball whatsoever. Of course, you see the occasional like highlights on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, but actually sitting down and watching a full game just doesn't happen for me. I would like to, it's just not very accessible without paying ridiculous amounts of money in the UK, unfortunately. But let's try and get the focus. Oh no, off the Bron, even though I guess he's kind of there for some clicks. I don't know if I'm going to include him in the thumbnail or if I'll just do one of them massive panning of the track pictures. Oh my Christ, I don't remember that single being that big. I'm trying to cast my memory back, because this layout that we've got in Sim, they go off the year tracks prior, so they replicate the 2024 tracks for their 2025 season. So this track layout is the same as the last year's track that we had in bikes to an extent. Obviously different track creators, some slight different artistic directions, and quite difficult in some places. So like in bikes, for example, we've got a really smooth set of rollers there, and here they've tried to make it a bit more techy, which I actually quite enjoy. I'm all for seeing tracks being made more difficult and including a skill gap. And I tried messing around with my sim settings the other day. Ever since I downloaded Sim back in 2015 and played it for the very first time, for whatever reason, I put my brakes on buttons. So my front brake is R1 on my PlayStation controller, so it's basically on or off. So I run it as anti-lock, which sometimes does affect how sharp I can brake. A lot of time I have to accelerate and brake at the same time and stop the front wheel tuck in. And it's just a very weird way about going about it. But I ran that for the 4 or 5 years that I really played Sim quite a lot, and it didn't cause me too many issues, and I don't think it was quite as fast back then as it is now. Obviously people have had an extra couple of years to get even better at the game, and there's still a few familiar faces around that compete. But I thought I'd try mixing it up and changing my brakes to being on left trigger, for example, and I just can't get my head around it. The muscle memory is so ingrained in me that trying to do it any different is so strange. And even though I play MX bikes and other motocross games with left trigger as a brake, for some reason on Sim my brain just says no, you'll do it this one way and this one way only. So that's how we're keeping it. So if you see me coasting into a lot of corners rather than being very heavy on the brakes. Anytime I want to brake hard, especially over braking bumps, which of course these outdoors tracks have a lot of, I will swap and eat absolute doo-doo. But I'm actually tempted. I've had, I mean, the sleep schedule's gone to poo again for the millionth time. Who would have thought it? I've just been staying up late playing like Warzone and things like that. So I had a cheeky little afternoon nap today. Say little, about 4 hours worth of sleeping. So I'm wide awake at the moment, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to plan on staying up and watching this race live for once, even though, unfortunately, Mr. Kellen Brower is no longer commentating it, and I don't think anyone's ever going to live up to or fit in those shoes, unfortunately. He was just the goat at it. So it might not be as hype as it has been in the past, but I'll try and see who's doing it these days and have a little watch live. Worst case scenario, I can go and scroll through the various competitors' YouTube channels tomorrow and have a look at the motos they uploaded. And the only reason that I hopped back on Sim in the first place to even play Parlour was I watched, I think it was Seth Shirley's 450 motos at Parlour. And I was watching and I was like, that actually looks like fun and enjoyable. And I feel like I could do that. So I loaded up Parlour, I was riding around it for like a good part of an hour, so I did have a lot of time in practice. And even still, on laps that I felt were really smooth and really fast, I was still probably like eight-ish seconds off of their race pace times. And I mean, when you watch like Seth's POV, for example, it doesn't look like he's setting the world on fire by any means. It's not like, oh my god, he's going to crash in every single corner, but it's just smooth and lots of roll speed, lots of corner speed, and the corner speed's where I really struggle at the moment. It's so difficult trying to transfer from one game to another and still keep that speed everywhere. Just the muscle memory, the steering is just completely different. But I'm a little better on the game right now than I was maybe a week ago. So I thought, you know what, let's load up the old OBS and get a video recorded. And I've even gone as far as started messing around with some suspension stuff myself. And if you want to see my advance and suspension for whatever reason, even though I'm hot garbage compared to a lot of people in this community, then if you hang around to the very, very end, just before the outro plays, I'll quickly pop up to some screenshots. I'll do one for the advanced stability. Actually, it'll be free, won't it? So I'll show you like the dab speed and all that shit, and then the suspension, and then advanced stability as well. Whether it's a good suspension, I generally couldn't tell you. I thought I'd take a shot in the dark. When it comes to setups on this game, you can read and write them in chat. So if you ever save one, you open up the chat, you /write setup, and then name it. And then if ever you want to reload that setup, you do /read setup and then type in whatever one you want. Now, I took a shot in the dark, didn't know what setups I had. I just typed in /read setup MX and it loaded one. So it's got some sort of suspension on it, and then I just tweaked it a little bit from that point. And it suits me for my speed and my, I guess, ability on the game at the moment. I'm sure if one of the fast boys loaded it up, their legs would probably implode on impact. It's probably not quite good enough for them. I need to use that YouTube privilege at some point just to message some people in the know, just to get the most up-to-date stuff, to see what the fast boys are using. But to be fair, if Sim is anything like bikes is these days, if you take a setup that one of the pro boys uses, it doesn't instantly mean that you're going to be good. You know, different riding styles, different suspensions work better at different speeds, for example, as well. So if I gave just say a random person on bikes the exact same setup that I use for outdoors, they might find it too stiff, for example, and want something a little bit softer. And I mean, on that same thing at the moment, I was going to make a bike setup video before the outdoor season started, but I'm so like in the bin at the moment. I'm doing so much soul searching, trying to find something that I enjoy, and I'm gonna shade isn't the right word, but I'm gonna give Dashpack a little bit of shit right now, because I reached out to him it was over a week ago now, and I was like, hey, I'm feeling good on the KTM, can I have a Suzuki model swap for the KTM, because it will look great with a red plate in round one. And he's done exactly that. You know, that's not what the shade's for, and he always delivers very, very well, and I thank him very much for that. However, since Beta 20 dropped, I have struggled so much, and it's apparent to me that I think the Yamaha is just such a better bike to ride than the KTM is. So if I just drag and drop my KTM model swap onto the Yamaha, the forks are basically non-existent, where the pivot points don't line up, so it doesn't work. So then I reached out to Dashback again and was like, is there any chance I could have this made for the Yamaha as well, so it looks fine? And unfortunately, he's out of town now until probably like round 3, something like that. So I am going to have to ride a stinky bike that I'm not comfortable with, and it's all Dashpack's fault. How dare he enjoy time away from his computer in real life? That's outrageous. Nobody's allowed to do that. MX bikes and MX Simulator and computers are completely life. Don't go outside. Don't touch grass. But yeah, round 1 might be a bit of a poopy show, and then after that, hopefully I'll get back onto it and be half decent again. Because at the moment, it's very hit and miss. I either feel great or I feel absolutely awful. There's no in between. And I think beta 20 is half the reason for that. It just makes me really inconsistent. But enough about MX bikes. I just want to point out, by the way, I don't think I've crashed in like 2 laps. And this is... Oh, hang on, I'm coming in a bit hot here. Oh, no, the front end got stuck over it. Straighten up, go. This is almost unheard of for me. I mean, I'm not doing it at a particularly fast speed whatsoever, but for me, for a new track that I haven't played before, I'm pretty damn happy about how this is going so far. And like I said, it's definitely the layout of this Hangtown track without those horrible like back and forth off campers that basically on this hill that we're facing now. It's a lot more beginner friendly for someone like me. Even though the braking bumps and the ruts that we have around here do look fairly difficult, I imagine looking at this corner, the fast balls will row the life out of that outside and then just scrub this super low. What are we going to do down here? They're always good at keeping the brakes off. The outside at the bottom of this hill always ends up being super OP on every iteration of it. And it's just because of the nature of the track as well. If you come bombing down the hill, you need that outside rut or outside berm to bank off of just to catch the bike at the bottom. So yeah, I do like watching boys be good at sim. There's something that even like when I first started playing MX Simulator back in 2015, I'd try and join the qualifying servers that had people like Tyson Fresquez or Hunter Root and Valtteri Tiene and people like that, just because I enjoy watching people that are better than me do things to see where I can learn from. And then there was a period of time where I was actually good at the game and there wasn't too many people to learn from anymore, but now I'm stinky at it again. I found myself enjoying watching sim content more again now because people are better than me again and just trying to see what they do different. And I'm guessing it's just a difference in how tracks are built now compared to back when I was competing. But it's like I could go around an entire Supercross section and be absolutely fine. Put me in front of a Whoop section and I give me 20 tries and I'll make it through maybe 3-4 times. It's so difficult. Yet back in the day, I remember just absolutely blitzing them. You know, like not like a super high gear. Like these days, these boys tend to whack it up into 5th and then blip their way through. I'd find like a gear that had a decent speed, whether it's 3rd, for example, and then just oh my Christ, that was a horrible kick. And then just tap lean back off of each and every one, and you'd blitz them absolutely fine. The bike would just, it would go through, absorb it so well. Just can't really do that anymore. And I think half of it's skill issue, half of it's different track designs, and I'm guessing different suspensions and things like that work differently as well. And people do ask if I would ever consider trying to compete in sim again. I don't even think I'd qualify, to be honest. If there was a day where I would be able to qualify again, it would take me quite a lot of hours, a couple of weeks leading up to it. Like I'd have to be like, right, I'm going to qualify for, let's say right now I'd want to qualify for round 5. That would be about 3 weeks of me just banging out sim, which then of course would then hinder my MX bikes abilities, and bikes is kind of my focus, at least for now anyway. Never say never. There might be a time where I try and race again. I just need to, it's such a different way of racing as well. In bikes I find you can be quite aggressive, even if sometimes the netcode doesn't allow it, whereas in sim it is very much stay away from everyone as much as possible, because the penalty for going down is so much more severe in sim than it is in bikes as well. No, LeBron! Little things like that as well, where I feel good, like I'm trying to hit all the bumps well, hit them straight, and then I'll just catch one and it'll kick my back end out. And I think it's just a case of I need to be in maybe like a taller gear going down it so the suspension works a little bit better, and trying to have my rider be as in straight of a line as possible, a little bit further off the back of the bike as well. But it's definitely easier to hop on sim right now and just play than it has been for me in the past. Like I have really struggled just to hop on and try and record videos before, and the annoying legs off are still here. But as you can see, the tracks, I mean, there's only been 2 so far, so very small sample size. The tracks have been pretty damn fun. So I believe BAC is the man that makes these. I don't know if there's anybody else involved in it, if they have a track team, or if it is just a one-man show for the time being. But to whoever is involved in this, you are doing a very good job. And I know it doesn't mean anything coming from me. I know that I'm not particularly well liked in the sim community, because I do tend to dunk on it quite often. But the tracks have been really, really fun. So hopefully that everyone that is competing in this championship at the moment thinks the same. Hopefully they've been good for racing so far. And I'm gonna get all this edited, rendered, uploaded, and grab myself a cheeky little snack and sit down and actually watch the racing live once, which is something that I just never really do. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on these tracks if you had the pleasure of playing them yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're up to, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.